Om Shanti. I withdraw my attention from the outside world and bring it to myself in the present moment. I open myself to the awareness of the divine. I connect with the divine in my own way. I am silent and still before God. I surrender myself to the divine. I let God love me. I absorb the eternal beauty and love of God within my heart. I am worthy of this love. God knows me. God understands me and loves me with unconditional love. बाबा मुझे बहुत प्यार करते हैं. God looks upon me with love only. God knows the beginning, the middle, and the end of me. I accept God's divine love, and together we become love. I am a child of love. I belong to the divine. I rest in the stillness of God's love, in peace, loving acceptance. I experience pure contentment. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. How's everyone doing today? Is my voice clear? Can everyone hear me? Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So we'll begin with today's session. I'll just share my screen with you. Okay. Is the screen visible to everyone? The screen is not visible? Okay, it is now. All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So let's continue. So we are going to start with chapter 3 today. Where does it come from? The past has no power over me. All right. We have gone through a lot of stuff and we have sifted through what we thought the problem was. Now, we have come up with that, what I believe is the real problem. We feel we are not good enough and there is a lack of self-love. I think from the past 2 chapters, we've understood that the main problem is that we have lack of self-love, lack of self-awareness. From the way I look at life, if there is any problem, then this has to be true. So let us look at where this belief came from. How did we go from being a tiny baby who knows the perfection of itself and of life to being a person who has problems and feels unworthy and unlovable to one degree or another? People who already love themselves can love themselves even more. Think of a rose from the time it is a tiny bud. As it opens to full flower, till the last petal falls, it is always beautiful, always perfect, always changing. So it is with us. We are always perfect, always beautiful, and ever changing. So I think this is very important. We should underline this line and use it as an affirmation to keep repeating it to ourselves that we are beautiful, we are perfect, and we are ever changing, just like a rose flower. This is a very beautiful comparison the author has given us to compare ourselves with a rose flower. We are doing the best we can with the understanding, awareness, and knowledge we have. As we gain more understanding, awareness, and knowledge, then we will do things differently. So it's important to understand and to keep affirming ourselves that we are doing the best we can. We need to bring in the self-love and self-awareness and not criticism, not criticize ourselves. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next. Mental house cleaning. Now is the time to examine our past a bit more, to take a look at some of the beliefs that have been running us. Some people find this part of the cleansing process very painful, but it need not be. We must look at what is there before we can clean it out. If you want to clean a room thoroughly, you will pick up and examine everything in it. Some things you will look at with love, and you will dust them or polish them to give them new beauty. Some things you will see that need refinishing or repair, and you will make a note to do that. Some things will never serve you again, and it becomes time to let those things go. Old magazines and newspapers and dirty plates can be dropped into the waste basket very calmly. There is no need to get angry in order to clean a room. So if we think about a dirty room, जैसे हम किसी कमरे के अंदर जाते हैं और पूरे कमरे में कचरा बिखरा हुआ है, पेपर्स इधर उधर फेंके हुए हैं, clothes, the whole entire room is in a mess. So at the first reaction is like, oh God, how will I clear up this room? It's a complete mess. तो हमारे mind का भी यही हाल है, there are so many things that we have, they've been with us for so deeply rooted in us. If we start thinking about how to clear up the mess inside our mind, it can be painful. It can be very, there's a lot of hard work in it, but we need to start somewhere. That's how the author has given an example of a room. कि जैसे रूम में जाते हैं और सब कचरा है तो एक एक करके हम चीजें हटाते हैं and then we start organizing the room. That's the way we need to do with ourselves as well. It is the same thing when we are cleaning our mental house. There is no need to get angry just because some of the beliefs in it are ready to be tossed out. Because हमारे अंदर इतने हम, we've become so full of those beliefs, they are so deep rooted कि उनको निकालना मुश्किल लगता है. ऐसे लगता है कि नहीं ये तो नहीं होगा. But slowly with a lot of perseverance we can start doing it. Let them go as easily as you would scrape bits of food into the trash after a meal. Would you really dig into yesterday's garbage to make tonight's meal. तो कितना अच्छा कह रहे हैं ऑथर कि you won't dig into yesterday's garbage. तो कल का कचरा तो नहीं हम रखेंगे for the meal tonight. Do you dig into old mental garbage to create tomorrow's experiences? So I guess we do that. We are always in the past thinking about what happened, why this person behaved in such a way. If a thought or belief does not serve you, let it go. This is very important. We should underline this line. If a thought or belief does not serve you, let it go. There is no written law that says that because you once believed something, you have to continue to believe it forever. So the deep-rooted beliefs that we have, we can change them. They can't be with us forever. Let's look at some limiting beliefs and where they came from. Limiting belief. I am not good enough. So this is one limiting belief I think everyone comes across in their life. Where did it come from? A father who repeatedly told him he was stupid. He said he wanted to be a success, so his daddy would be proud of him. But he was riddled with guilt, which created resentment, and all he could produce was one failure after another. Daddy kept financing businesses for him, and one after another, they failed. He used failure to get even. He made his daddy pay and pay and pay. Of course, he was the biggest loser. So this is very important, this limiting belief that I'm sure some of you must have faced in your childhood, maybe from your parents or from your friends. And you start to believe that जैसे कोई कहता है ना आपसे नहीं होगा, आप नहीं कर सकते ये, और हम उस बात को मान लेते हैं और हम भी कहने लगते हैं अपने आप से नहीं ये हम नहीं कर पाएंगे. So this is something that हमारे हर किसी को कभी ना कभी ये फेस किया होगा हमने. So we need to change that belief, limiting belief of I am not good enough to I am perfect, I am complete. We need to change those beliefs. Then the second one the author is saying is lack of self-love. Where did it come from? Trying to win daddy's approval. The last thing she wanted was to be like her father. They couldn't agree on anything and were always arguing. She only wanted his approval, but instead, all she got was criticism. Her body was full of pains. Her father had exactly the same kind of pains. She did not realize her anger was creating her pains, just as her father's anger was creating pain for him. So this is really important as parents, how we, deal with our children, how we behave with them, because that is what they start believing. अभी जैसे इन्होंने बताया है कि जैसे उनके फादर थे वो नहीं अग्री करते थे उनके साथ, तो she started feeling the pains in her body and her father had exactly the same kind of pains. So our children eventually become a replica of what we are. जैसे हम हैं वैसे ही हमारे बच्चे भी होते हैं. So it's very important how we behave with them, give them a lot of love, how we speak to them, no criticism, it's very important in this day and age to understand how to behave with our children as well. The other limiting belief is life is dangerous. So where did this come from? A frightened father. Another client saw life as grim and harsh. It was difficult for her to laugh, and when she did, she would become frightened that something bad would happen. She has been reared with the admonition, don't laugh or they might get you. This is another belief that uh, it comes from our family or friends. Like she's saying it came from her frightened father, that life is dangerous. Another limiting belief, again, I'm not good enough. Where did it come from? Being abandoned and ignored. It was difficult for him to talk. Silence had become a way of life for him. He had just come off drugs and alcohol and was convinced that he was terrible. I discovered his mother had died when he was very young and he had been reared by an aunt. The aunt seldom spoke except to give an order, and he was brought up in silence. He even ate alone in silence and stayed quietly in his room day after day. He had a lover who was also a silent man, and they spent most of their time alone in silence. The lover died, and once again he was alone. So these are all childhood experiences that one faces, and all these experiences are so deep rooted. Like in this case, he's saying there was nobody he could speak to. कि कोई भी नहीं था जिससे वो बात कर सके, एक्सप्रेस कर सके अपनी फीलिंग्स. तो उस चक्कर में then he got addicted to drugs and alcohol. So it's very important to heal our childhood experiences, to become self-aware about our own limiting beliefs. So the author has given us an exercise, negative messages. The next exercise we do is to get a large sheet of paper and make a list of all the things your parents said were wrong with you. What were the negative messages you heard? Give yourself enough time to remember as many as you can. A half hour usually works well. What did they say about money? What did they say about your body? What did they say about love and relationships? What did they say about your creative talents? What were the limiting or negative things that they said to you? So I think we should do this exercise. Yeah, I think it's very important to understand where our beliefs are coming from. So if we could all just make a note about anything that you remember in your childhood that you were said maybe from your family or your friends that you think really affected you some way or the other, is still with you, you still remember it, you still believe it. So should we do this exercise? Can we have some suggestions? करना चाहिए या नहीं ये exercise? Yeah, I think it's really important. If you want, you can share it in the chat box as well, or if you just want to write it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm getting mixed answers. Okay. Okay, so maybe as homework then, or even if anyone wants to share their experience, as a child, if something was said to you that you always remembered, or it's still with you, मतलब आप उस बात को मानने लग गए, वो आपकी बिलीफ बन गई कि हाँ मैं तो ऐसे ही हूँ, आई एम नॉट गुड इनफ। जैसे हम कई बार कह देते हैं ना बच्चों को कि नहीं आपसे नहीं होगा। We could recall power of now, yeah. Um, so this is very important. अभी नहीं तो I guess for homework तो हम सबको करना ही चाहिए. We should, make a list of what our limiting beliefs are, first of all. ये भी बहुत important है. सब लिखना, और where do you think they came from? कोई आपके लाइफ में ऐसा इंसिडेंट हुआ जिससे आपको ऐसे लगा कि यहाँ से ये बिलीफ मुझे मिली है, या आपको ऐसा किसी ने कुछ कहा है? All those things, to sit and write down is very important. If you can just look objectively at these items and say to yourself, so that's where that belief came from. Now let's take a new sheet of paper and dig a little deeper. What other negative messages did you hear as a child? From relatives? From teachers? From friends? From authority figures? From your church? Write them all down. Take your time. Be aware of what feelings are going on in your body. What you have on these two pieces of paper are the thoughts that need to be removed from your consciousness. These are the very beliefs that you have that are making you feel not good enough. This is very important. ये जो author ने कहा है, these are the very beliefs you have that are making you feel not good enough. So I feel this is the very first step for self-healing, is that you sit and write all the things that you feel are bringing you down. वो सारी बातें जो आपको किसी ने कही है, या आपके साथ हुई है in your childhood, जिसका जो आपके साथ अभी भी है, जो जिसके वजह से आपकी ये बिलीफ्स हैं, ये this is a very important exercise to start with. For any healing process, we should do this. If anyone wants to share, please feel free. This is a safe space where we can talk and we can share. So if anyone wants to share anything, please do. Okay. Yeah. You have chosen wrong field to study. Yeah. Right. You are not looking good. Yeah. Mhm. These are the things that, are just casually, someone comes and, says these things very casually to us. But it's very, all these things stay with us, they don't go, and we start believing in them. You are always quiet, you cannot do anything in life. You're a crybaby. Yeah. You're not punctual, you're reserved. My friend said same, you don't have smartness. Yeah. You are shy. Yeah. Mhm. And especially when we are, from childhood, जब ये बोलते ही जाते हैं ना हमें, तो वो हमारी belief बन जाती है. Even I believed the same for so many years, that you are not good enough, you can't do it, ये नहीं होगा. So these are the things that require healing. Just writing all these things down, where you heard them from. जैसे author ने कहा कि ये भी लिखना कि आपको ये सब बातें किसने कही. It's very important to make a list of all these things and then start reaffirming yourself with positive affirmations. Okay. So let's move ahead. Okay, this is important as well. Seeing yourself as a child. If we were to take a 3-year-old child and put him in the middle of the room, and you and I were to start yelling at the child, telling him how stupid he was, how he could never do anything right, how he should do this and shouldn't do that, and look at the mess he made, and maybe hit him a few times. We would end up with a frightened little child who sits docilely in the corner, who tears up the place. The child will go one of these two ways, but we will never know the potential of that child. This is very important. So I'll just read this paragraph again. If we were to take a 3-year-old child and put him in the middle of the room, and you and I were to start yelling at the child, telling him how stupid he was, how he could never do anything right, how we should do the same, how we should do this, how he should do this, and shouldn't do that, and look at the mess he made and maybe hit him a few times, we would end up with a frightened little child who sits docilely in the corner or who tears up the place. The child will go one of these two ways, but we will never know the potential of that child. If we take, on the other hand, if we take the same little child and tell him how much we love him, how much we care, that we love the way he looks and love how bright and clever he is, that we love the way he does things, and that it's okay for him to make mistakes as he learns, and that we will always be there for him no matter what, then the potential that comes out of that child will blow your mind. Yeah, that's important as well. So in this, on the other hand, how the author is saying, if we take the same little child and tell him how much we love him, how much we care, that we love the way he looks and love how bright and clever he is, that we love the way he does things and that it's okay for him to make mistakes, that we will always be there for him, that the potential, then the potential that comes out of that child will blow your mind. Each one of us has a 3-year-old child within us, and we often spend most of our time yelling at that kid in ourselves. This is so important. Then we wonder why our lives don't work. We have spent so long criticizing ourselves. So this is very true. Each one of us has a 3-year-old child within us, which needs that love, which needs that positive affirmations, which needs healing. If you had a friend who was always criticizing you, would you want to be around that person? Perhaps you were treated this way as a child, and that is sad. However, that was a long time ago. And if you are now choosing to treat yourself in the same way, then it is sadder still. This is very important. जैसे बचपन में हमें ऐसे कहा जाता है कि आप ये नहीं कर सकते, you don't look good, you're not good enough. और ये सब चीजें जब अभी भी हमारे पास है तो that is even sadder. Author यही कह रहे हैं कि we need to get out of that. We need to practice self-healing, self-love, give our inner child that love. So now, here in front of us, we have a list of the negative messages we heard as a child. How does this list correspond with what you believe to be wrong with you? Are they almost the same? Probably yes. We base our life script on our early messages. We are all good little children and obediently accept what they tell us as truth. It would be very easy just to blame our parents and be victims for the rest of our lives. But that wouldn't be much fun, and it certainly wouldn't get us out of our stuck position. See, this is so important. कि जैसे ऑथर कह रहे हैं हमें बचपन में जो हमारे पेरेंट्स कहते हैं हम वो मान लेते हैं एंड हम वो ही अपने साथ रखते हैं फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ but that is not helping us, and especially if uh, there are negative comments. We need to start working on them. We need to start working on our limiting beliefs. So these exercises are very important. Next thing the author is talking about is blaming your family. Blame is one of the surest ways to stay in a problem. In blaming one another, we give away our power. Understanding enables us to rise above the issue and take control of our future. Understanding enables us to rise above the issue and take control of our future. Blaming is not going to get us anywhere. We are giving away our power. The past cannot be changed. The future is shaped by our current thinking. It is imperative for our freedom to understand that our parents were doing the best they could with the understanding, awareness, and knowledge they had. Whenever we blame someone else, we are not taking responsibility for ourselves. So we have to understand that whatever our parents were doing was the best they could have done with the understanding they had. जैसे उनकी अपब्रिंगिंग हुई है वैसे ही वो हमारी भी कर रहे थे. तो किसी को ब्लेम करना फ्रेंड्स को फैमिली को it's not going to help us. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. Those people who did all those terrible things to us were just as frightened and as scared as you are. They felt just the same helplessness as you do. The only things they could possibly teach you are what they had been taught. तो जैसे अपब्रिंगिंग हुई है वो वही वैसे ही करेंगे because that is how they've been brought up, that is what they have learned. तो किसी को ब्लेम करके हमारी हीलिंग नहीं होगी. हमें खुद ही अपने आप पे काम करना होगा. We have to look into ourselves and start working on ourselves. We have to take responsibility. We can't blame anyone. How much do you know about your parents' childhood, especially before the age of 10? If it's still possible for you to find out, ask them. If you're able to find out about your parents' childhood, you will more easily understand why they did what they did. Understanding will bring you compassion. This is important. You can underline it. Understanding will bring you compassion. We'll stop blaming them then because we'll understand कि उनके साथ भी ऐसे ही हुआ है, उनकी भी अपब्रिंगिंग ऐसे ही हुए, उनके भी experiences होंगे जो maybe they want to protect us from it. So understanding will bring compassion. What kind of childhood, if you don't know and can't find out, try to imagine what it must have been like for them. What kind of childhood would create an adult like that? Try to imagine it yourself. You need this knowledge for your own freedom. You can't free yourself until you free them. You can't forgive yourself until you forgive them. If you demand perfection from them, you will demand perfection from yourself and you will be miserable all your life. This is very important again. You can't free yourself until you free them. You can't forgive yourself until you forgive them. If you demand perfection from them, you will demand perfection from yourself and you will be miserable all your life. This happens when we have our own children and, they do the same mistakes and we respond in the same way as our parents responded to us. Then we realize how it was for them, how they had to bring us up. So, doing this exercise is very important. हम सब लिखें जो हमारे साथ, बचपन में हुआ है, जो अभी भी वो हमारी बिलीव्स बन गई हैं और जिससे हमें वो बिलीव्स मिली है वो हम लिखें एंड फॉरगिवनेस forgive them and then forgive ourselves for whatever reason, whatever way they behaved, forgive karna is very important. So I think now I love to hear आप सबके क्या opinions हैं, क्या learning है आज के session से. So I think we'll stop here for today and we'll continue with choosing our parents. This is also really important. We'll continue with this tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So if everyone can now share their learnings from today. It was quite, today's class was quite difficult, I would say, for everybody. Okay. Yeah, Datta Bhaiji has written, beautiful. If you're able to find out about your parents' childhood, you will more easily understand why they did it. Understanding will bring you compassion. Free ourselves to free others. Yes, that's very important. Okay. So, who would like to share their experiences of what we learned today? Please feel free to, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Yes, Rajiv ji.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. Yes.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Didi, actually, we what in the childhood, what we listen from someone that you are not capable, that nobody it is told with us, but we should try to understand that our parents always say something for our good, and so many things they uh, say us for inspiration and so that. But most of us, our nature is like that. We always attract with pain and harsh words. They did 10 good things and one bad thing. We stored it in bad things and forgot those 10 good things because the habit pattern of the mind is like that. So we should to check our mind periodically that we are on the right path, and if we have to remember, we should remember the good things
Yeah.
It is my opinion that, and writer is also saying that if I demand perfectness from our parents, then we also demand perfectness from my side. It creates pain to me that I am not perfect, because I am seeing that my father is not perfect, my mother is not perfect, and I am not perfect. So we are not perfect. It's my opinion. Just
Yeah.
I try to.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, that's very true. Our mind holds on to all the negative things. You know, all the negative things that have been said to us, our mind holds on to them, and we tend to forget the positive things. So that's very true. Thank you
because
so much for
because I
sharing.
because I think because I मैं जब भी साधना वगैरह में बैठता हूँ तो
हाँ
ये
जी,
महसूस करता हूँ कि पेन के ऊपर तभी ध्यान जाता है जब हम फोकस नहीं होते।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
नहीं तो पेन टॉलरेट हो जाता है, फोकस नहीं
हम्म,
होते और प्लस इक्विमोनस नहीं होते।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी। थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग। थैंक यू ब्रदर। ओके, नीलम जी। यस।
Om Shanti.
ओम शांति।
Um, from today's sessions, I understood that never criticize yourself. As per previous session, we learned that never criticize yourself to love yourself. And from today, I understand that as well as don't criticize others also. So
या
you can motivate others by positive words, positive motivational words, so we can enhance their potential and understand others instead of blaming. Blaming is easy, so we can understand others through this, and understanding will bring the compassion. Okay, and if we forgive others, then and then we can free ourselves. So that's
Yeah, that's
thank
so
you.
true. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, that's very true. Okay, Karuna ji.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I like the most the cleaning process. We must look at what is there before we can clean it out. It is very essential that we must find out what we need to clean. I would like to express my last year's experience with meditation. When I started it, initially many things started to come in my mind, and as written is, some people find this part of the cleaning process very painful. It was painful for me, but we need to find out what is there. We need to cleaning our mental house is very essential for our personal growth. And one more line, I would link it, you can't free yourself until you free them. This is very essential. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's very true. Thank you so much for sharing, sister. Okay, Anuradha sister. हाँ जी.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
As from today's session, I came to know that a lot of beliefs and labels we acquire in our early childhood, that when we are not even unaware, we capture all the labels which people give it to us. And this is how our destiny or our future is shaped. But my question is, sometimes it is difficult to let go of those labels, which we have already acquired, and very strong belief system it has become a part of the like our personality. How to let go of those labels? It's not very easy. So that's my question also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is true, sister. It does take a lot of time. I think we need to be very patient. और आज जैसे उन्होंने कहा ना कि आप सब लिखो, जो भी आपके बिलीव्स हैं, जो आपके लिमिटिंग बिलीव्स हैं, उनको लिखो, एंड देन उसको फिर पॉजिटिव में convert करके दोबारा लिख के ना, and then I think by even writing that positive affirmation again and again, घड़ी घड़ी अपने अपने आप को कहना कि नहीं, I am perfect the way I am, I am peaceful, I am loveful, और जो भी आपकी limiting belief है जो आपको hold back कर रही है, very patiently उसको meditation में करेंगे, and constantly, and I think patience तो रखना पड़ेगा because it takes time, immediately तो नहीं होता, बहुत persevere करके लिख लिख के positive affirmations meditation में slowly slowly फिर हो जाता है, but we need to be very patient and continue, मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि बीच में रुक जाना कि नहीं होगा, नहीं, we need to keep at it, तो फिर हो जाएगा.
Okay, thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you sister, thank you so much. Okay, Ritika जी, हाँ जी.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Yes, my today takeaway is that blaming is not a solution. We should understand what beliefs we have made in the past, and we should try to let go these beliefs which we have taken for us. And the second one is that uh, like the author has given example of a child who is being asked to yeah uh, being tortured and being said negative things, but when we are talking to that child in a positive way, that child grows. And the next is if we want to treat ourselves like this, we our mind will also work according to that child. I think so.
Mm.
एंड ब्लेम नहीं करना, ऑथर हैज सेड कि ब्लेम नहीं करना, मींस किसी को भी ब्लेम नहीं करना, नॉट इवन आवर पेरेंट्स, एनीवन. वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई वर दे लाइक दैट in their time, or if we don't have, if we can't come to know how were they in their childhood, then we should try to understand कि वो अपने बचपन में मीन्स कैसे होंगे if according to their present personalities.
Yeah.
Means we have to stop blaming anyone, no?
Yeah. That's so true,
Thanks.
sister. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, that's very true. The most important thing is we need to stop blaming. We need to take responsibility. और जब वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग आती है ना कि उन्होंने वो क्यों ऐसा कर रहे हैं, जब हम ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप करते हैं तो फिर कंपैशन भी आता है, जो बहुत अच्छा ऑथर ने एक्सप्लेन किया आज. आई थिंक
It's
ये
easy to forgive, no? Then sister, we can easily forgive them. We
yes,
understand that they are
yeah,
not under their according to their, they are working according to their beliefs, no?
yeah, that's so true. And then we can forgive them when we start understanding कि वो क्यों ऐसा कर रहे थे, क्या रीजन था. That's very true. I think बहुत अच्छा ऑथर ने आज एक्सप्लेन किया, and ये टॉपिक भी है सेंसिटिव because I think सबके अंदर है ये inner child that needs healing. तो आई थिंक सबको वो होमवर्क करना चाहिए, हम सबको लिखना चाहिए क्या है बिलीव्स, कहाँ से आई है, forgiveness, understanding. I think this is the very first step that we should take. Okay. Who else wants to share? There are messages that have come. Yeah. Forgive ourselves, free ourselves. Often we expect perfection from our parents, but it's important to understand they are small 3-year-old child, frightened, yeah, and gone through many things in life which made them as they are now. Very good. Yeah. Meditation and mirror में खाने से change कर सकते हैं. Okay. Yeah. And we should write this affirmation. We are always perfect, always beautiful, and ever changing. I really like this from today. Should keep reminding ourselves. We are always perfect, always beautiful, and ever changing. Okay. Does anyone else want to share? Or we'll end the session today. So we'll be opening the group as well. So after, please share your takeaways of today in the group. Also, I think we should all do the homework जैसे author ने आज कहा है, that's very important कि हम सब लिखें. It's the first step I feel for healing. So I think we'll end the session today. And I'll see you all tomorrow. We're going to open the group as well in some time. So please share your takeaways. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining and being so interactive. Thank you so much. Om Shanti. I'll just end the session with a beautiful song. And I'll see you tomorrow again. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Sometimes I'm not sure who I am, or even if I'm where I'm supposed to be. Grateful for all of my memories, starting to feel like I need new air. Today isn't my forever. I'm always changing for the better. Listen closely to my soul, to know what I've got to let go. And every single day I'm looking forward. Be brave, embrace change, taking steps into the unknown, breaking free, finding clarity. What's best for me, I will find my way. Every single day I find my way. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. Let life happen and take it all in. I choose to focus on myself and promise to always put myself first. Today isn't my forever. I'm always changing for the better. I listen closely to my soul, to know what I've got to let go. And every single day